Inside this Albuquerque video store are stacks of movies to make you laugh or cry or gasp. But this store also holds a story more horrific than any fiction. A real-life drama with a terrible ending. On March 3rd, 1996, a crew of 3 worked into the early morning hours. They probably barely noticed when Shane Harrison and Esther Beckley walked in. They'd both been customers here before. But this time, the pair wanted money, not movies. This time, they carried guns, not a rental cart. And this time, they left no one inside alive. When store employees showed up for work the next morning, they found night manager, 30-year-old Mylene Doty, and 2 teenage workers, Jawanda Castillo and Zachary Blacklock, lifeless in a back storeroom, all dead of gunshot wounds to the head.
I'll never forget what he said. He said, "Boss, you better get down here for this one."
Bob Schwartz was district attorney at the time. He got the call from his violent crimes investigator.
This is a crime with, again, sort of a whole different demeanor. It's that calculating, cold kind of cruelty that was inflicted.
And it got worse. Zach's grandparents, who typically picked him up after work, were missing. The next day, someone spotted their car in the East Mountains. Investigators found the bodies of George and Pauline McDougal not far away. And in a scene similar to the one at the video store, the couple, huddled together, had been shot repeatedly.
Each decade has its own sort of signature crime, which changes the way people look at not only their community, but at the world. And this was the case that did that to this community in the 90s.
The community waited several days for police to crack the case. After getting a tip from an informant, officers arrested 26-year-old Shane Harrison and 41-year-old Esther Beckley. She pleaded guilty to the McDougals' murder to avoid a death penalty trial and then testified against Harrison. Both will spend the rest of their lives in prison.
Before all this happened that night, wasn't there a voice in your head going, this is not right, don't do this? I mean, looking back.
I guess I rationalized it because there wasn't supposed to be anybody hurt. I said, okay, it's okay to do it since nobody's going to get hurt.
Behind these razor wire top fences are women who've made bad choices in their lives. Women who have robbed or hurt or killed.
And you really don't have any kind of control over what you do over your life.
It is the only prison for female offenders in the state. Nearly 600 inmates are serving time here, but this one will never leave.
Do you see people come in and out?
Oh, God. Like a revolving door.
But there's a few of you who are here for the long haul.
Oh, yeah.
Esther Beckley is serving 2 life terms for her part in the Hollywood video murders. New Mexico first heard her name in March 1996, just days after 5 lives ended in a single night. It was an awful introduction. The faces of a middle-aged woman and a younger man accused of committing a heinous crime, executing a night manager and 2 teenage workers inside a video store, then driving the grandparents of one of the teens into the mountains and shooting them repeatedly. Now, after years behind these bars,
Here, this is your room. Who's beside you?
Esther Beckley is talking.
So do you get to know these people pretty well?
Yeah.
Giving her account of what brought her here. She took us into her prison cell,
Bed's not made, there's clothes over.
into her world.
This is your window out to the world right here, huh?
I don't ever go out in the yard either. I don't like
You don't like to go outside?
Giving us a glimpse of the monotony of prison days.
During the day, we have to wear a uniform.
Okay. Which is just a basic red t-shirt and navy pants?
Pants.
And the memories of a terrible night.
So go back over that night and tell me what happened. I mean, this is your chance to get your story out. What happened that night?
It was really horrific. I've thought about it and thought about it so many times. I have nightmares. Nobody was supposed to get hurt.
What happened?
I didn't know that Shane had been smoking crack all day long, and he's a paranoid schizophrenic. And he hadn't been taking his medication for that. And he just flipped. He just, I don't know what caused him to, I don't know.
Why did you plead guilty?
So I am. I didn't stop him. I couldn't stop him. I failed to save those people's lives. There was nothing supposed to happen to them. I know I was just there, but I'm just as guilty as he is. I might as well have pulled the trigger because I couldn't stop him from doing it.
Tears from Esther Beckley brought none from the daughter and granddaughters of the couple she pleaded guilty to killing.
And I think she puts on a nice little show, and I think she's used to making people feel sorry for her.
They have little emotion left to show.
I have no feelings toward her. I feel that she's a liar, and she says these things to try to make herself feel better.
Inside this store, you can rent movies that make you cry, or make you scared, or make you gasp in disbelief. But what happened here on March 3rd, 1996 is worse than any horror movie because it turned all those feelings into reality.
I don't hate her, but I certainly hate what she chose to do.
Esther Beckley says no one was supposed to get hurt in the robbery she and Shane Harrison planned for the Hollywood Video Store on March 3rd, 1996. She claims that she was outside when Harrison shot store workers Mylene Dote, Jawanda Castillo, and Zachary Blacklock execution style in a back room. She admits to distracting Zach's grandparents, George and Pauline McDougal, when they came to pick him up from work, and to following Harrison as he carjacked the elderly couple and gunned them down in the East Mountains. She claims she never fired a gun, but that doesn't matter to the families or to investigators.
It wasn't necessary for her to have her finger wrapped around the trigger, for us to, wrap our hand around her fate.
Then District Attorney Bob Schwartz remembers the Hollywood Video murders as a crime that defined a decade, that changed the way we think about living and dying.
I think people started being aware of how randomly they could be plucked from anywhere in this town for absolutely no reason whatsoever other than geography. They just happened to be there.
It changes everything. It changes how you see other people and how I live.
You never get over it. You have to get past it to live some kind of a life, or they've taken you too. They've killed you too.
Does getting on with life include forgiveness? These women, and the one who wants it, all say that's up to God.
I hope so. I don't know. I don't even know if I deserve forgiveness. I can't forgive myself. How can I expect somebody else to forgive me?
March 3rd, 1996, an armed robbery at a Hollywood Video Store took 5 lives and forever changed many more. One family member is now using what she learned during that tragic time in her life to help others who are hurting.
We ask that you respect our privacy and the dignity of the memorial services and funerals that will take place. We need that, and we ask you to please respect our wishes in this matter.
Holly became a reluctant spokesperson for her family as the result of one of the most notorious crimes in New Mexico history. She first got word that her cousin, Zachary Blacklock, was one of the workers executed during an armed robbery at the Hollywood Video Store, and then realized that her grandparents, who typically picked up Zach from work, were missing. The next day, investigators found the bodies of George and Pauline McDougal in the East Mountains. They had been shot numerous times.
I am so sorry. I know you can never forgive me, and I don't ask that.
As the case played out in the media and in court, Holly and her family would watch with the rest of New Mexico. After police arrested the accused killers, Esther Beckley pleaded guilty in the elderly couple's death and then testified against Shane Harrison. Beckley told how Harrison shot the store workers, kidnapped the McDougals from the parking lot, and murdered them too.
I tried pleading with him not to hurt him, tried to hand him the tape. Please, just tie him up, just tape him up and leave him. They're just old people. They're not going to do nothing. They can't do nothing to us. And he refused.
If we know things...
There seemed to be so much attention, media, and on the case and on what was going on and what the families were thinking or going through. And We really wanted our personal chance to say goodbye.
We also ask
At the time, Holly was a recent graduate of New Mexico State University with a degree in hospitality, tourism, and business.
Well, I didn't have it all mapped out, but I was happy working in the hotel industry and doing the sales and catering, weddings, conferences, things like that. So it was always a different activity that I was planning for.
She had no plans of doing anything else until violence put her world on hold.
I decided that I needed to do something different, and that if there was nothing that could change our situation, but if there was something that I could do that would help anybody else.
Holly is now the victim's advocate for the Crime Victims Reparation Commission, a state agency set up to provide financial help to those touched by violent crimes.
I try to hook them up with other resources or organizations that can help them, whether that be, food stamps and, general needs that they have, from groceries on up to, looking for a new job and things like that.
And Holly also gives them hope that you can go from being a victim to a survivor to an advocate. So what might her grandparents think about her new career?
If I was happy doing what I was doing, then I was doing the right thing.
Holly says if she hadn't moved on with her life, then in a sense the killers would have taken her too. Esther Beckley and Shane Harrison are due to spend the rest of their lives in prison for the Hollywood video murders.